Hello and welcome back to Today in the NBA, where today I'm going to be going over some of the free agents that are still available. So for this video, I'm only going to be going over unrestricted free agents that haven't been signed yet. Now to start off, the biggest surprise obviously is Christian Wood. He's a great offensive player, pretty much one of the better offensive bigs in the league, I'd say. He can shoot, he can score inside, he can even do a little bit off the dribble. He's a pretty solid screen setter. He's great at rolling to the basket. They can kick it out for him to shoot it. He's a pretty solid three-point shooter, actually probably one of the better ones. I think he was 38% from three last year on, I want to say, 4 or so attempts a game. Not 100% sure on that though. He's a great offensive player. His problems do come with his defense and his attitude though. His defense, he's pretty bad on that end to be honest. But the thing is, he does have the potential to be much better. I think that if he does go for a smaller contract, which is looking much more likely, especially considering that most of the teams left don't actually have all that much cap space. Hopefully he'll realise that he's not really as good as he thinks he is, and he will realise that if you're a big man in this league, you do need to be able to play defense. He's definitely got the potential. He's got long arms, he's big, and he's more slender, so I think he could be pretty decent on the perimeter, and probably not an above average shot blocker, but maybe an average shot blocker. He'd be an average big on the perimeter, probably even above average. And if he was that, he would definitely be a much more valuable player. If he was an average shot blocker and a positive defender on the rim for a big man, I could definitely see him going in the range of maybe $16 million a year, but he's just not. The other problem with him is his attitude. There have been reports of him in Dallas being a problem in the locker room, and we've definitely seen it on the court for him playing for the Rockets last season, about what happened, how he wasn't really that good for the team, especially considering it was a younger team. We did see him get sent to the locker room in 1 or 2 games, I think. So who knows? Hopefully he can lock in on the defensive end and with his attitude, and we'll see him go in free agency. Now the other big surprise is Kelly Oubre Jr. He's probably an above average perimeter defender. Probably only a little bit above average though, but he did have his best season of his career offensively last year. I think he averaged 22 points a game on 42-36 splits. I know they're not great shooting splits, but it is on a higher volume. He's not really someone that should be doing a higher volume of shots, but honestly, I think he could probably go for somewhere in the range of $8 million. I don't know if there's any teams that still have their mid-level exception left, but if they do, Kelly Oubre would be a great player to lock up with that money. Another player still left in free agency is Will Barton. He's a very solid veteran. He's a veteran that could actually see rotational minutes, and I definitely could see him coming into a team, maybe a younger team like, who knows, the Rockets or the Spurs, being a great mentor for some of the wings on that team, maybe the 2s or 3s, who knows, he could even help out the point guards. I just think he'd be great on a younger team, being a great locker room presence, someone that the younger rookies and sophomores can look towards, not even just that, some of the younger players, and he's still going to be able to give you solid minutes on the court. Now the last player that I want to talk about is Anthony Lamb. Last season he played really solid minutes for the Golden State Warriors. He was really good, and he wasn't even making that much money. He was on a minimum, making I think 1.8 mil. He was very solid. He was a pretty decent defender, above average three-point shooter, and he was most importantly a player that could fit into the Warriors system, which as we know is really hard for a lot of players to sort of work their way into. Now Anthony Lamb didn't play a full season with the Warriors, however. That was because they had to decide between him and I think it was Ty Jerome as to who they wanted to keep for the rest of the season, because I think they were on Exhibit 10 or two-way contracts. Not 100% sure on that. I'm not really all that sure how the rules work, but still I can talk about it. He was pretty good. He just wasn't as good as Ty Jerome. He was above average three-point shooter, above average defensively, solid playmaker out of the high post, obviously not elite in that meter, not as good as Draymond Green, but still great player, and I could definitely see him making an impact on younger teams and older teams. I'd love to see a team like the Phoenix Suns sign him, maybe a bigger player or a smaller player actually, but he can play big. He played at the 4 last year, which is quite impressive considering he is only 6'6". Anyway, that does it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave it a like. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Is there anyone I missed? I did only go over the 3 or 4 most important players in free agency, but I would like to know anyone else that you think could be signed. If you really enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. I do post daily NBA content, so it is worth keeping up to date on. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.